and welcome to Aftershock Weekly called Website Rapid Fire. Today we're going to be talking about when to update your website, and then we're also going to be talking about what type of content management system to choose. So let's start with this. When should you update your website? First off, you want to make sure that you have a responsive website, meaning that as your screen size changes, whether you're going from a 22-inch monitor down to a laptop that, let's say, is 16 inches, down to an iPad that's 8, to a phone, you want your website to look good on all those screens, big or small. Sometimes that means you're going to have to take away elements depending on the screen size, depending on what the customer is using for. So on a phone, for example, you might determine that somebody wants to call or look at your services quickly. You might find on a phone that the action that somebody wants to take right away is to call you, so you make that more prominent. On a desktop, you have other information that you want to display. So making sure that your website's responsive. If it's not, it's probably time to have a revamp. Not optimized for mobile. Well, we talked about this. The reason this is so important is because mobile is the #1 screen size that people are viewing your website on today. This has changed over the last several years, and it's going to only continue to grow in the mobile space, built on an old CMS. The CMS stands for Content Management System. Content Management System would be examples of WordPress, Drupal, Joomla, built on an old content management system. A content management system allows you to build new pages and to basically go in, it's the back end of your website to where you can add pages, you can change your forms, you can update emails, you can do all the things you need to on the back end to make your website look nice on the front end and be functional. And lastly, old portfolio or testimonials. If you have a portfolio that has items that are 5, 6 years old, or testimonials that are the same, you want to make sure that it's up to date and fresh. Nothing, you can have older portfolio items and testimonials, but you want to make sure that you've got new relevant stuff so that people looking at your business know that it's current review and current projects that you've been working on. Now let's talk about how to choose a content management system and what options are available. First is WordPress. WordPress has over 140 million downloads and is the most popular content management system right now. That is the best for a beginner that wants to build their own website, all the way to very high-end programmers that are versed well in PHP and want to be able to have all the customizations that you need. But a beginner can go on and launch WordPress, put a theme on there, build their pages and put content in, and launch a website within a matter of a couple days. It might not be the most professional looking website if you don't have a lot of experience, but it's a great content management system for a new beginner. Drupal is a little more complex. They have a great content management system, but it's not something a beginner can understand unless they have basic HTML, CSS, and PHP background. There's a lot more programming and a lot more flexibility that they have in their content management system if you know those languages, but if you don't, it's a little bit more difficult for you to manage yourself, and you would need another company to do so. Joomla is another example of a content management system that also takes a little more expertise. So if you have the expertise, or if you hire a company to build your website with Joomla, then you should be fine. It's a great content management system that constantly is supported and has new developments for their plugins all the time. And lastly, you might want to go with a Squarespace or Shopify. Squarespace and Shopify are awesome for e-commerce websites when you just need to get a few products up and you need to be able to take payment and sell your products. They've set up a great content management system that will let you upload images of your product, descriptions, allow you to choose PayPal or Stripe, a variety of different payment gateway and payment processors, and it allows you to be in business for yourself online pretty quickly. There are a lot of limitations to those platforms, so you want to make sure that when you're looking at this as an option, you're looking at what your goals are, not only short term but long term, to see if this is the right platform for you. With that, we wrap up episode 4. Thank you so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next Monday. And with that, we'll leave you with a quote.